for the BC reaction to the tariff announcement today. Let's bring in Rob Shaw at the BC legislature. Rob, you've been talking to politicians today in the wake of the American announcement. What did they have to say about the whole thing?
Well, Stacey, the mood here initially one of confusion over the impact to Canada, tinged with a bit of relief that, as you heard in Mary's story, Canada appears to have not been hit quite as hard as those in the BC government were expecting, dodging that new 10% global tariff, but continuing with all the other tariffs that were previously threatened. The remaining tariffs on Canadian vehicles and vehicle parts, steel and aluminum, don't have a major impact on British Columbia compared to, say, a province like Ontario, which is heavily into auto manufacturing. We do have one large aluminum smelter in Kitimat. The province still trying to figure out what products are non-USMCA compliant and subject to those previous tariff promises. And while some sectors, such as natural gas, which is our largest export to the U.S., seem to have been largely spared for now, other sectors, such as forestry, are being decimated by American policies such as the softwood lumber dispute. Here's the political reaction across the spectrum today.
It's important to recognize that these tariffs will be devastating for families, for businesses on both sides of the border. See already the impact on stock markets, the impact on consumer confidence, the impact on prices.
It was hard to make sense from President Trump's speech. We have seen some information come out, and we're analyzing that now. It's troubling because we heard from the president that he was going to build a wall, and what he's announced today is an economic wall around the country.
We heard the president talk about how we have been treating, a lot of countries, not Canada alone, have been treating Americans wrong. We have been providing Americans lumber, billions of lumber, board feet of lumber, every single year for them to be able to build the infrastructure, build the homes they need. We want to continue to do that.
When I look at the announcement that Trump made in exempting Canada from that 10% tariff, I wonder why we're in the legislature today debating Bill 7 to give this government extraordinary powers. What is the purpose of doing that when we are not facing these tariffs? This is simply a power grab by this government.
You heard Rustad mention Bill 7 there, the controversial response by this government that proposes to give the Premier and his cabinet power to bypass the legislature for 2 years and match those executive orders from Trump with BC cabinet orders without the usual democratic process. That's being debated right now here in the legislature. The Premier's promised to back down on the controversial clause, the what critics call a power grab, Stacey, as the government refocuses on interprovincial trade barriers, expanding to new markets, and its remaining threats, which are ending contracts with U.S. firms and taxing trucks, supply trucks to Alaska. So we'll see how the government proceeds with those.